Hey guys, so today I actually want to talk about, are there trash blades or are you just a trash player? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hey, I'm Blader03 and thank you for finding my YouTube channel. Thank you for hopefully subscribing if you enjoy this content. I've got a few videos and I planned a few more. So trying something new with my lighting, trying something new, as you can see, with the Mortal Kombat in the background. But today's video, I really want to talk about, because I've seen so many comments saying like, oh, this blade is trash. This is F tier. This is whatever. And a lot of those people put Dronzer and Drigger in the F tier, right? Which, yes, they are harder to play. And that is something that I have come to realize while playing, this game. When I'm piloting certain blades, they're going to come across different. And some I am garbage with. I will absolutely admit I cannot play Shinobi. I cannot play as much as I want to. I'm not good with like a drawn dagger, right? My play style is very different and I can't play a stamina type. I can't, do balance so well. So there are different ways to play, but you've seen in my videos, I take Drigger and I've taken Drigger and Dronzer. I've actually doubled down. I actually bought more parts for them. I spent my money to upgrade two of the worst blades that have come out in the X generation. Why did I do that? Because I enjoy playing with them. The nostalgia got to me and I saw patterns while I was playing with Drigger and Dronzer to a point where at one point my son said that Dronzer was my secret weapon. That's not true. I'm not as good with Dronzer as I am with Drigger. And now I've doubled down. I've even gotten, and I've figured out from a past video, I was calling this a black Drigger, whereas maybe dark Drigger would have been better. But I think even better than that, Galleon from the original anime, I think one of the characters used one named Galleon, which is honestly just a dark Drigger. So that's the scheme I'm going to go for. I'm going to sticker that one up and get it painted. But I've doubled down on those blades that a lot of people are calling F tier, and people are commenting, oh, I like Night Shield. Oh, I like this. I like that. And that's great. That's great. But instead of chasing that meta, right, just train with that blade more. Play against the meta more. Don't be afraid of losing. Losing is just a part of growth, right? So as we play and we lose, right, we're piloting the blade we want and we lose against the meta. What did you do wrong? Because clearly something happened. Something happened to where we lost. Yes, you've watched my videos. Sometimes a spin finish is going to happen. Sometimes your plan just doesn't work out. Right? Sometimes, and that's the game. Sometimes your plan just doesn't work out. But there are other times where it does. If you play one and you got some spin finishes in and you don't really know where it was going, try it again. Ask for a rematch. Do it again. Don't be afraid of losing. Don't be embarrassed. Be humbled by that experience, right? What is your opponent doing? How are you learning from your opponent? Are you watching what they do? Are you measuring your stuff, right? Some people were commenting on my launch, right? And I have the training video showing you guys, hey, this is how I did it. Now, what I didn't show you in that video is how to make that launch happen, right? I noticed they're different styles, and even when I'm telling my son, like, hey, put your hand here, do this, keep that one straight. Not always do I want to keep my hand straight. Not always do I want to keep it in one spot. Not always. I'm using both hands. I'm moving my arms. I'm waiting on that timing piece, like I've said before. There are a lot of different little things. Are you measuring those things? How are you measuring them? Are you saying, hey, I made this movement. This is the posture I had. And again, I'll reference shooting. Sometimes when we're pulling the trigger and you pull that trigger and you're yanking it, it's gonna throw that shot off. If you're dipping before, it throws that shot off, but you don't even know. right? It takes dry firing to find out, oh, wait, at that last moment, at that last second, I'm dipping down just a little bit because I'm anticipating that recoil, right? That's one of the most common things in shooting is people dipping at the last second because they're anticipating the recoil to come back. And one of the most humbling things is taking somebody who doesn't shoot small caliber, doesn't shoot rimfire, letting them shoot 22 caliber, which is like a super small caliber, right? And they dip and they're missing every shot because they're anticipating a recoil that never happens. So when we're launching our blades, are you dry firing, right? Dry firing that launcher is not going to hurt it. Rip without a blade on it. Rip with a blade on it. It doesn't hurt the blade either. Shoot into a stadium, make sure you're in a safe space. Shoot into a stadium and see if you can measure your launches. Are you practicing at home? Are you practicing those launches? Are you dry firing without an opponent? That's how I got that launch. That's how I've learned how to measure my launches, where to place my Dragoon, right? Right now, that's the only left spin we have. El Drago is coming, right? And I'm getting El Drago also. But where do you place the left spin? Because I was playing left spin just like I was playing right spin, and it was not working for me. But then I found a strategy with my left spin, and it actually ended up working, right? How did I do that? Because it was trial and error. I had to take losses time and time again to figure out that I was doing something wrong. The patterns were different. Every time you change a piece on that blade, you're going to have a different outcome for each launch. The blade and the tip are the first most crucial pieces. I will always say, always. The ratchet is when you're down to that, minute, dial it in just a little bit more. I need that little piece more. But for the way I want it to spin and for the attacks that I want to do, we're watching that tip and that blade. The ratchet is, now we're dialing in weight. Now we're into, hey, I've got the strategy that I want. Let me find the ratchet that will work. So we really want to dial in, we want to practice, and we want to get those reps in. Losing is okay. Losing is okay. But changing it up because you lost, now you have no reps on that blade. Even if it's a garbage combo, right? If it's a garbage combo and you think, oh, this is trash. If you switch immediately without finding out how to win with it, without figuring out how to best manipulate that blade, how to best pilot that blade, right? You're not ever going to find it, right? You're just going to the next one. So I rode motorcycles. I still ride motorcycles, but I wanted to ride on track. And I had a Gixxer 1000. And my father told me that bike has far more ability than I do. And I'm a young guy at this time. I'm in my 20s, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. But when the time came for me to start learning and riding aggressively on track, I had to switch to the Gixxer 600. I had to switch down and learn on a lesser bike because I was not super bike worthy. I was, really street bike worthy, right? I was, the 600s, not the 1000s. So when we're looking at blades, are they trash or are we trash, right? Looking at that, hey, here's the Gixxer 1000, but I belonged on a Gixxer 600, arguably even maybe like a 400 class, right? So we have, is the blade trash or do we just not know how to use it? Have you put in the reps? Have you tried? Do you know what that tip is good for? Does it fit your play style? If it fits your play style and you say, oh, well, I'm an offensive player and you have an offensive setup, but you keep losing, odds are it's your strategy, right? If you have an offensive setup, but you're a defensive player, then you need to learn how to play offensively to work that, right? To work that blade. And that's where the balance types come in, right? I'm hyper offensive, but if you look at my setup, I do have Vice Tiger in there, which is a balance tip. And I run it on Unite, which is also a balance tip. Because I want to learn the different styles and I want to be able to make those fine adjustments. Is it going to be the best defense? Is it going to be the best offense or stamina? Absolutely not. But by looking at all these different variations, I might be able to win out just at one time. And actually, in my opinion, Vice Tiger is really good just the way, I've swapped it out. It's on 560, not what it came with. So I'm running Vice Tiger 560 on Unite because I wanted the balance blade and the balance tip, right? And that ratchet is where I dialed it in. So, hey, let me know in the comments below, do you think there are just trash blades, or do you think that there are trash bladers, right? Or is it a trash pilot or is it a trash blade? So, look at that. Have you tried combos that just didn't work? Again, I've played Dronzers that were top tier, right? Do you ever play the lesser blade and try to up your skills? Or are you chasing that meta dragon because you want to be at the top? We keep chasing the meta. We're never going to build this skill set that we need to pilot any blade. So do yourself a favor, find a trash blade that you think is trash, work it, make it win. All right, guys, remember, if we want people to take Beyblade seriously, we have to take Beyblade seriously. All right, hey, thanks. I hope you guys like the new setup and have a wonderful day.